Yo, what is good, guys? Quite the slow day in the markets today. As I said in yesterday's video, there's no need to force those trades, let the opportunities come to you. So today was one of those days where it was just better to sit out and wait and see how the charts really just kind of developed. So with all that being said, there's not too much to say in this video. We're just going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, oil, the US dollar, Apple, Tesla, biotech, semiconductors, the VIX, and SPY. And I'm just going to tell you what I see because right now we're kind of just consolidating for a medium-term bigger move before continuing the bigger move, which if you've been watching my videos, you know what I think it is. So with all that being said, we're just going to hop right into it. Make sure to show the video some love, give it a like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So to start off, tomorrow you have the Economic Symposium. Now, I think this should give us some volatility. I really don't know what to expect from it, so I think that's going to be something everyone's watching, as well as the GDP growth rate. So I think you're going to get some volatility tomorrow. There's no way you're going to be flat like you were today. So I'm going to show you some Elliott Wave stuff, really show you where the next places we can go to are, because even though we are pretty overextended, oversold, there is a possibility we have one last push lower, and I still have my short position I determined today, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we're just going to start off with Bitcoin. Nothing really new. We've been watching it since this wedge broke out, and now it's in this bear flag, and I still think it just has to drift a little more. We'll just have to see how it interacts with that trend line. So nothing to say really about Bitcoin. We're just going to see how it plays off this trend line, and if it starts moving up even more, what it does at this line right here. So oil, I went long yesterday, and you had a pretty decent move up. The ticker we were playing, UCO, had a nice gap up of like 6%. Now, oil, someone pointed out in the Discord that there's a hidden bearish divergence, and there definitely is. So you got the price moving down while the MACD made a slightly higher high. Now, on the 2 hours, it might still be there, yeah. So, if it breaks that high, it'll invalidate that bearish divergence, but, as long as it stays under this peak right here, this is a bearish divergence that I'm seeing. So I'm still holding that oil, but after seeing that, you might get that move down. But we'll adjust accordingly. We'll see how it goes overnight and tomorrow. Not really too much we can do right now. So we're gonna see how it plays out tomorrow. I think you have some oil news. You might not. Let me take a look. Gasoline stocks exchange. Well, that might affect it, but yeah, that's it for oil. That hidden bearish divergence. That's something to really be paying attention to. The US dollar. This was big. I was watching futures last night. We basically did a double top here, and this is pretty significant. If you're making that new high, you're just gonna keep going. So if that had happened, you probably would have seen SPY just go red all day. But yeah, it didn't break the high. Did a double top, got rejected. Those are really the two big trend lines I'm seeing here. So yeah, on the daily, kind of had a doji, so indecision. We'll see how that goes. A lot of stuff that happened today is really just indecision, waiting for that next direction to come in. So it's really hard to say. Like, last week I was like, it's gonna move down. This is where we're gonna go. And now it's more like, I'm waiting for that move up, but we might have a little more downside. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna show you those levels. So a lot of this stuff you're just gonna be waiting on. Apple, same story. Somewhat slowing down. You might keep moving down, but yeah, not too much to say about that. That's another one you're just gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. Tesla, you broke out. You might be testing this trend line here. Maybe if I move it down a little. I think that's too far down, but yeah, you might be trying to test that trend line and see how you interact with it. Maybe you break through it, test this zone again. Just kind of a spot where you have to wait and see how it plays out. Biotech kept moving up. We closed our short position right down here. We started shorting over here, and we closed it yesterday on this candle actually, and it's been going up. It's just something we're watching. This one took profits yesterday on these, this candle right here. Been moving down, cooling off. So there's definitely more upside, but it might need a quick, really fast cool off and follow SPY. So if that happens, SPY would get a pretty fast bounce to the upside. So VIX, again, nothing really to say here. Staying above that trend line for now, but yeah, really not much I can say. I can't really see much. I guess you do have a double top right here, but um, we're just gonna have to see how that goes again, of course, tomorrow. So tomorrow's gonna be a pretty big day for kind of decision making for the market. Um, so yeah, I really don't have much to show you guys, but I just want to show you the levels that you want to be watching and that you need to know. So on to SPY, if you remember that Fibonacci channel that I showed you guys, there were two variations. Actually, I'm gonna point this out quick. Today, if you're in the markets, you know this, of course, but today you were in this pretty tight channel actually. Um, you did go outside of it a little, but you have a lot of touch points, like right around here. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I guess maybe right here. So it was definitely in this channel all day, and nothing really happened. It was just consolidating before possibly a move down to around 408, which I'm going to show you and explain it, or you start the bounce up to, I would think, the high for 410. So that Fibonacci channel, there were those two variations, and I'm going to put up that second one because both of these seem to be still having reactions. So, and also quick, I just want to show you this. This Fibonacci range here, this is where you gap down underneath. This was where I thought you would bounce somewhere very close to. You did not bounce, you gapped right underneath it, and you stayed underneath it. So just something to know. I just wanted to point that out. If you want to incorporate this stuff into your charts, but I didn't want to forget to say that. So I'm just pointing that out before all the other stuff. So that Fibonacci channel, where did it go? So yeah, you have this one, which I feel like is the most significant one, but I feel like, or I think I said the other one was the most significant one in my last video. So both of these are getting a reaction, so it's kind of hard to say which one it is, but both of them seem to be relevant. This one acting as resistance clearly got rejected today, and this bottom one kind of acting as support. So tricky to say. Those are just going to be some channels we need to see more days play out within, so that we can really see which one is the one to be really paying attention to and watching and paying attention to the Fibonacci levels inside of that channel. So we're going to go into ES, the futures. I'm going to show you the Elliott wave with the possibilities. Now this might look confusing, but I'm going to simplify this. So, this whole time I've been saying we were in wave 3, and I'm pretty sure we're still in wave 3, or going into wave 4. So, okay, I'm going to show you this. So, wave 1, I'm going to go in step by step. So, you have your 5 waves down, you correct it with an ABC, 5 more waves to the downside, but in an Elliott wave, all of these waves have a lot of equality within like the time ranges it takes for them to play out. I guess like the velocity, the steepness of the moves, and the length of the waves as well. So what's interesting here is there's a possibility that move up to 4:15 in the morning was wave 4, which would give us the ability to get that one last new low before getting a gigantic bounce. And you do not want to be on the wrong side of that bounce, because I am quite positive that bounce is going to be massive and it's going to happen very fast. So just be on the lookout. We're going to get a pretty big bounce soon. I'm not sure if it's going to happen right now or if you're going to get that one last move down. So wave 2 and 4 are correction waves of the general trend, and they usually show a lot of equality. So these waves are somewhat similar, so it's not the same, but it's hard to say. I'm just trying to show you the symmetry of these waves, and wave 2 and 4 are pretty similar, so it might be the case that was wave 4, and another reason you could think that is because you retraced right up to that 23.6%. So very tricky to say, if this is not the bottom, or if that was not the top of this fourth wave and we're still in it. You could be coming up all the way to 421, and on SPY that would equate to, let's see, this would equate to 420, almost 421. So a big move up. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to be on the wrong side of this one, but I have a feeling that we might get one last push down. Now, I really don't care which way it goes because I'm positioned for both sides. I've shorted this entire way down. I sold out of some of my short position today and went in more long yesterday. I went long right before close and I added today. So if it goes down to 408, I think I would do calls. I haven't been doing calls. I attempted some. Which level was it? I believe it was. We gapped down. It's harder to see on futures. I did calls right here, and I just let them pretty much go worthless. I didn't really care. I wasn't in very heavy because I wasn't confident, but there was just that chance you could bounce in there. So if we get to 408, I think I would be doing calls, but that's just me. So back to futures. It's an interesting case here. Again, you're really just going to have to see how tomorrow plays out, because I think tomorrow is quite an important day for the direction of the markets, at least in the medium term. I'm going to show you some macro stuff on the daily and weekly, because there's some big stuff on there that will dictate the next like really big move. Like I'm talking like the scale of like this move that we had with that squeeze from under 400 to 430. So this was a pretty big move too, but that's not the big move I'm looking for. So we're just gonna have to see how it reacts with this gap. This gap is not filled, and you did not completely hit, although you did on futures. On SPY, you did not hit the retracement I was looking for, that next level, which would be, it's cents away. You almost got there, but you didn't do it fully. So it's really hard to say. I'm not gonna let those minute-to-minute moves distract me. This was definitely consolidation before either one last little push to the downside or a gigantic bounce is coming. And this was just consolidation, which I'm also going to show you supply and demand, what's happening with that. This is a pretty big zone here, so you can see a lot of concentration of volume is in this area. It has to do with this range. There's a lot of congestion right here. So whatever happens after this is probably going to be a decent move, and it's probably going to happen very fast, because both sides are betting here. They're all putting their money on the line here, and once it breaks one way, they're just waiting for that direction to be picked, and they're all going to flip sides very quickly. So there's a chance I think you get one last little move to 408, the 408 region before a bounce, or you're just going to start your bounce and start your move up to these levels. So again, there's that chance. We already had wave 4, which was this wave right here, and you're going to get your last move down to probably that level, which is around 408 on SPYs. So the last thing I want to show you was this extension. I think I showed you in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to show you again. So you hit that target right here. So that's why I think this could be wave 3. It's going to be pretty obvious if you break that low, but we're just going to see what happens tomorrow. Maybe you gap down, which probably would make sense just because you have so many divergences on the hourlies and stuff. You might need to have a gap down, but again, we'll see how it goes. So we're going to zoom back out. Actually, one last thing before we zoom out a little. The 15-minute. So the MACD, you know, I've been looking at this 15-minute MACD for a little bit, and I've been putting in my videos saying once we attempt that trend line on the MACD, you could get a big break. And you went through today, but today was a very stagnant day, just absolutely flat, as you can see. So I mean, you went through that trend line, but nothing really happened. RSI still in that bearish control zone under 50, but this is on the lower time frames. 30-minute, we'll see how those look. You still have, those are pretty decent divergences. So yeah, you're already crossing, MACD. The histogram's almost going green, so pivotal day tomorrow. I'm still not counting on that bounce. I'm not confident about it yet like I was with this being the top, but we're just going to move out to the daily now. So the daily, specifically the RSI, this is a really important thing to be aware of. The daily RSI is at 50. Above 50 is a bullish control zone. Below 50 is a bearish control zone. So right now it's almost crossing into that bearish control zone, and you know that would be bad, especially if you're a bull. I would like that because I have that short position, but I do want to see a bounce. It would just make everything make more sense. So the weekly MACD, you know, remember this remember this RSI. Daily RSI is sitting at 50. So the weekly, we're going to look at the RSI as well. You are sitting at 50 on the weekly as well. So all of the macro time frames are sitting at a really pivotal area where the next move is going to be. I think it's coming. I'd say within 2 weeks. I think you will see the next really big move, like the general direction. So you're still in that kind of phase where it's like the new lows. If you make new lows, I'm aiming for 333. That just has to do with some Fibonacci levels, but to the upside, you could get a big break. It all depends on this retrace. So we're just gonna have to see how tomorrow goes. I think tomorrow is a pretty important day. Not too much happened today. It was just consolidation, but yeah. There's really not too much else to say. Everything was just stagnant today, so we're just gonna have to see how the price action looks tomorrow to really have more to work with. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave my video. I think the things you're gonna want to be watching for is that one last little push down to 408, or you start that retrace to the upside. So I wouldn't be surprised either scenario. I'm positioned for both directions, and I'll make money on both directions. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this video. If you watch this whole thing through, make sure to show it some love, give it a like and subscribe, and the Discord, that's in the description. So make sure to check that out. And yeah, peace out, guys.